The neon sign outside Danny's diner flickers erratically in the midnight rain, casting eerie shadows across the empty parking lot. Inside, the fluorescent lights hum over worn vinyl booths and cracked linoleum floors. This isn't the kind of place you'd expect to find a hero. Elena Vasquez, 28, moves between tables with practiced efficiency, her dark hair pulled back in a simple ponytail, wearing the standard uniform of waitresses everywhere: black pants, white shirt, comfortable shoes. She's been working the night shift at Danny's for 8 months now, serving coffee to truckers and late-night wanderers who drift through this forgotten corner of Nevada. But tonight is different. Elena wipes down table 6 for the 3rd time, her movements precise despite her casual appearance. A trained observer might notice how she positions herself to see every entrance, how her eyes constantly scan the room, how she keeps one hand always free. But to the handful of customers scattered throughout the diner, she's invisible, just another tired waitress counting down the hours until dawn. The bell above the door chimes, and 3 men enter. They move with the swagger of predators who've never met real prey. Marcus Torres, 3'2", leads the group, prison tattoos crawling up his neck, a scar bisecting his left eyebrow. Behind him, Kenny Walsh, 26, twitches with nervous energy, his hands shaking slightly as he surveys the diner. The 3rd man, Victor Stone, 38, is pure muscle wrapped in a cheap suit, his dead eyes taking inventory of everyone present. Elena glances up from her cleaning, makes brief eye contact with Marcus, then returns to her work. To them, she registers as what she's supposed to be: forgettable. They slide into the corner booth, table 12, the perfect spot to watch the room while keeping their backs to the wall. Elena has been expecting them. Elena, approaching with menus. Coffee to start? Marcus, not looking up. Yeah, black. Kenny, make mine with cream. Lots of cream. Victor, studying Elena with unsettling intensity. You work here long, honey? Elena's grip on the menus tightens imperceptibly. Long enough. I'll get that coffee. As she walks away, Victor's eyes follow her every step. Nice view, he mutters to his companions. Marcus checks his watch. We've got 20 minutes before the truck arrives. Let's keep this simple. But nothing about tonight will be simple. Elena returns with their coffee, setting cups down with steady hands. The diner has only 6 other customers now. An elderly man reading a newspaper, 2 truckers arguing about routes, a young couple sharing pie, and a businessman typing on his laptop. All innocent. All potential casualties. Marcus, after Elena leaves. Everyone clear on the plan? Kenny, we wait for Rodriguez's truck, take the shipment, leave no witnesses. Victor, what about the cameras? Marcus gestures toward the corners of the diner, where old security cameras hang like dead eyes. Ancient system, probably doesn't even work. He's wrong. The cameras work perfectly, and Elena knows exactly who's watching the feeds. From behind the counter, Elena observes the 3 men while appearing to organize supplies. She's memorized their positions, their weapons. Marcus has a pistol in his jacket. Kenny carries a knife, and Victor's massive hands are weapons enough. But they have no idea who they're really dealing with. Elena's real name isn't Elena Vasquez. It's Lieutenant Elena Santos, formerly of Marine Force Recon, currently working deep undercover for the D. For 6 months, she's been tracking a drug trafficking network that uses this seemingly innocent diner as a way station. Tonight, she's about to close the biggest case of her career. The bell chimes again. This time, it's Maria Gonzalez, 45, a single mother who works the morning shift. She's early, hoping to pick up extra hours. Maria, to Elena. Hey girl. Thought I'd come in early, help with the breakfast prep. Elena's blood runs cold. Maria wasn't supposed to be here. The operation was planned for a nearly empty diner minimal civilian risk. Now an innocent woman has walked into what's about to become a battlefield. Elena, quietly urgent. Maria, you should go home. Come back at 6 like usual. Maria, what's wrong? You look worried. Before Elena can answer, Marcus stands up, his intention clear. The meeting with Rodriguez's truck is secondary now. They've decided to rob the diner, first easy money from the till, maybe some fun with the waitresses. Marcus, to his companions. Change of plans. Let's have some entertainment while we wait. Elena watches in the reflection of the coffee pot as Victor locks the front door and flips the closed sign. Kenny positions himself near the back exit. They've done this before. Elena, to Maria, urgent whisper. Get behind the counter. Now. Maria. Elena, what's happening? Marcus, approaching. Well. Looks like we've got a private party now. The elderly man with the newspaper looks up, confused. The truckers stop arguing. The young couple freezes mid-bite. The businessman's fingers hover over his keyboard. Elena steps between Marcus and Maria, her posture shifting subtly. To the untrained eye, she still looks like a frightened waitress. But years of combat training are awakening beneath her civilian disguise. Elena, the register only has about $60. Take it and leave. Please. Marcus, grinning. Oh, we'll take the money. But first, I think we'll have a little fun. You and your friend here are going to help us pass the time. Elena, I don't want any trouble. Victor, cracking knuckles. Too bad, sweetheart. Trouble just found you. Elena glances at the clock above the door. 12:47 a.m. The D backup team isn't scheduled to move until 1:15 a.m. when Rodriguez's truck arrives. She's alone, outnumbered, and responsible for protecting 7 innocent civilians. But Elena Santos didn't survive 3 tours in Afghanistan by waiting for backup. Elena, to Marcus, voice steady. Let me ask you something. Do you know what the biggest mistake most criminals make? Marcus laughs. What's that, waitress? Elena's stance shifts imperceptibly. Her weight moves to the balls of her feet. Her hands, previously nervous, become perfectly still. Elena, they assume that someone who serves coffee for a living has never served anything else. The smile fades from Marcus's face. What happens next takes exactly 7 seconds. Elena's hand shoots out, striking Marcus's wrist with surgical precision. His gun clatters to the floor before he can draw it. In the same fluid motion, she spins and drives her elbow into Kenny's solar plexus as he charges from the side. Victor lunges forward, using his size advantage, but Elena has faced bigger opponents in darker places. She drops low, sweeps his legs, and sends him crashing into table 4. The entire sequence unfolds like a deadly ballet, beautiful, precise, and absolutely lethal. Marcus, clutching his wrist. What the hell? Elena kicks his gun across the floor, out of reach. Her entire demeanor has transformed. The meek waitress is gone, replaced by something far more dangerous. Elena, voice cold, authoritative. Everyone stay calm. This is under control. Maria, from behind counter. Elena, who are you? Before Elena can answer, Kenny pulls a knife and swipes at her. She catches his wrist, applies pressure to a nerve cluster, and the blade drops from numb fingers. Kenny, gasping, you broke my wrist. Elena, no, I dislocated it. The break comes next if you don't sit down and shut up. Victor struggles to his feet, blood trickling from his nose. At 6'4" and 250 pounds, he's not used to being put down by anyone, let alone a woman who weighs 130 pounds soaking wet. Victor, I'm gonna tear you apart, bitch. Elena's eyes narrow. She's heard that threat before, in Kandahar, from a Taliban commander twice Victor's size. That didn't end well for him either. Elena, Victor Stone, 2 years at Folsom for aggravated assault. Dishonorably discharged from the Army after assaulting a female officer. You like hurting people who can't fight back. Victor's face goes pale. How do you know that? Elena, because I've been watching you for 6 months, Victor. You, Marcus, Kenny, and your entire pathetic organization. Marcus tries to stand, favoring his injured wrist. You're a cop. Elena, close, B. And you 3 just walked into the middle of a federal operation. She reaches behind the counter and produces a badge and service weapon, both previously hidden. Elena, Lieutenant Elena Santos, Drug Enforcement Administration, you're all under arrest. Kenny, whimpering, this is impossible. You're just a waitress. Elena, I'm also a decorated Marine veteran with 3 combat tours and specialized training in close quarters combat. The waitress thing was just a cover. Maria, stunned. 8 months. 8 months you've been lying to me? Elena's expression softens for just a moment. Maria, I'm sorry, but I couldn't risk blowing my cover. Too many lives were at stake. Marcus, what operation? What are you talking about? Elena checks her watch. 12:52 a.m. Still 23 minutes until Rodriguez arrives with the real prize 200 kilos of pure heroin worth $8 million on the street. Alana, Marcus Torres, Kenny Walsh, Victor Stone, you work for the Sinaloa cartels distribution network. Specifically, you work for Carlos Rodriguez, who uses this diner as a transfer point for drug shipments moving north from Mexico. Marcus, you can't prove any of that. Elena, smiling coldly, actually, I can. I've been recording every transaction, photographing every shipment, documenting every meeting. The D has enough evidence to put your entire network away for life. She gestures toward the security cameras in the corners. Elena, those cameras you thought were broken? They've been feeding directly to D headquarters for 6 months. Every word you've spoken tonight is on tape. The 3 men exchange looks of growing horror. Victor, so what happens now? Elena, now we wait for Rodriguez. When he arrives with tonight's shipment, we'll have the evidence to take down the entire West Coast distribution network. Kenny, you're crazy. Rodriguez has 20 men with him. You're outnumbered. Elena, am I? She keys her radio. Phoenix Base, this is Nightingale. Package is secure. Repeat, package is secure. Radio voice. Copy, Nightingale. Eagle team is in position. We have eyes on the target. Elena looks directly at Marcus. 20 men, you said? My backup team counted 18. And unlike your crew, mine actually knows what they're doing. Elena zip ties the 3 men to their chairs, using restraints she'd hidden behind the counter. The other diner patrons sit in stunned silence, trying to process what they've witnessed. Elderly man. Miss, are we safe? Elena, you're safe, sir. But I need everyone to stay exactly where you are until this is over. Trucker number 1. How long are we talking? Elena checks her watch again. 20 minutes, maybe less. She moves to the window and peers through the blinds. The parking lot looks empty, but she knows better. Rodriguez's scouts are out there, watching, waiting. Maria, approaching cautiously. Elena. Or whatever your name is. Why didn't you tell me? Elena, because if you'd known, you might have acted differently. Given something away. Gotten yourself killed. Maria. And now? Elena, now you're in danger because you came in early. Rodriguez sees unfamiliar faces. He gets suspicious. Suspicious Rodriguez means dead civilians. As if summoned by her words, headlights sweep across the parking lot. A black SUV pulls up, followed by a second. Men in tactical gear emerge, moving. With military precision. Elena, into radio. Phoenix Base, we have early arrival. multiple hostiles, full tactical gear. Radio voice. Copy, Nightingale. Maintain position. Do not engage until Rodriguez is confirmed on scene. Elena curses under her breath. Rodriguez isn't in either vehicle. These are just his advance team. The real target is still coming. Marcus, grinning despite his restraints. You're screwed. Now, cop. Those aren't local gangbangers. Those are ex-military contractors. They eat Marines for breakfast. Elena ignores him, focusing on the tactical situation. 8 hostiles outside, 7 civilians to protect, and no backup for another. 15 minutes. The math is ugly. Elena. To Maria. Get everyone into the kitchen. Move quietly. Stay low. Maria. What about you? Elena. I'm going to buy us some time. The front door rattles. Someone's testing the locks. Elena dims the dining room lights, leaving only the emergency lighting active. In the semi-darkness, she has the advantage. She knows every inch of this diner, while they're operating blind. Radio voice. Urgent. Nightingale. We show thermal signatures surrounding your position. 8 hostiles confirmed. Elena. Whispering. Copy. Phoenix base. Civilians are secure in the kitchen, holding position. A window in the back office shatters. They're coming in from multiple directions. Elena draws her service weapon and takes position behind the counter, using the industrial coffee machine as cover. Through her earpiece, she can hear radio chatter from the backup team. Still 10 minutes out. 10 minutes might as well be 10 hours. The first hostile appears in the doorway, young, professional, carrying military-grade hardware. Elena recognizes. The type. Former special forces turned mercenary. Dangerous, but predictable. She doesn't shoot. Not yet. The moment she fires, this becomes a war zone with civilians in the crossfire. Elena. Calling out. Federal agent. You're surrounded. Stand down. Laughter echoes from outside. Voice. Heavily accented. Agent Santos. Carlos Rodriguez sends his regards. Rodriguez knows who she is. Somehow, her cover has been blown. Rodriguez, over loudspeaker, you have been very troublesome, Agent Santos. 6 months of careful work, ruined by one persistent woman. Elena's mind races. How did he find out? Who leaked her identity? Rodriguez. I offer you a trade. Your life for the civilians. You walk out with your hands up, and I let the innocent people go. Elena knows it's a lie. Rodriguez has never left witnesses alive. Elena, shouting back, counter-offer. Carlos, you drive away now, and I won't have to explain to your mother why she's burying her son. More laughter, but this time it's forced. Elena has touched a nerve. Marcus, from his chair. He's not bluffing, Agent. Rodriguez killed a federal prosecutor last month. Made it look like a car accident. Elena, shut up, Marcus. But the information is valuable. Rodriguez is escalating, taking bigger risks. That means he's desperate, possibly cornered by other investigations. Through the radio, Elena hears the backup team reporting their position, still 7 minutes out. She looks at her watch. 1:08 a.m. 7 minutes to keep 7 civilians alive. Against 8 professional killers, Elena Santos has faced worse odds, but never with so much to lose. Tear gas canisters crash through the windows, filling the diner with choking white smoke. Elena pulls on a gas mask she'd hidden under the counter-standard D, preparation for situations exactly like this. Through the chaos, she hears Rodriguez's men moving into position. They're professional, coordinated, deadly. But they're also making one critical mistake. They think they're hunting a lone federal agent. They have no idea they're facing Elena Santos, the Marine who held off 200 Taliban fighters in the US. Mountains of Afghanistan for 6 hours with nothing but a rifle and pure determination. Elena, moves through the smoke like a ghost, using memorized layouts and superior knowledge of the terrain. She reaches the kitchen where the civilians are huddled. Elena, to Maria, everyone stays down. Don't move, don't make noise. Businessman, we're going to die, aren't we? Elena, not on my watch. The first mercenary enters the kitchen from the back door. Elena is waiting for him. A quick strike to the throat, a nerve cluster pressure point, and he drops silently. 1 down, 7 to go. Elena takes his weapon, a military-grade assault rifle, and his radio. Through his earpiece, she can hear Rodriguez coordinating the assault. Rodriguez. Over radio, Santos is somewhere in the smoke. Find her, but don't kill her yet. I want to speak with her personally. Elena keys the dead mercenary's radio. Carlos, this is Elena. You want to talk? Let's talk. Rodriguez. Ah, Agent Santos. You are resourceful, but you are also trapped. Elena. I've been trapped before. It didn't work out well for the people who trapped me. Rodriguez. Indeed? And where did this happen? Elena. Afghanistan. Helmand Province. I was the only survivor of a Taliban ambush. 43 of my Marines died that day. She pauses, letting the weight of that sink in. Elena. I held that position for 6 hours against impossible odds because I had something worth protecting. Today, I have 7 innocent people depending on me. What do you think happens to anyone who threatens them? Silence on the radio. Rodriguez. You are bluffing. Elena. Your man at the back door isn't responding to radio calls anymore, Carlos. Want to know why? Through the smoke, Elena moves to her next position. The mercenaries are advancing systematically, but they're moving too slowly. They're treating this like a standard operation, not understanding that they're fighting someone who's turned warfare into an art form. Elena flanks the second mercenary as he enters through the front door. A sleeper hold, applied correctly, can incapacitate without killing. He goes down quietly. 2 down, 6 to go. Rodriguez, increasingly agitated. Report. All units report. Alania, keying the radio. 2 units are taking an extended nap, Carlos. 6 to go. At this rate, I'll be done before my backup arrives. Rodriguez, you cannot defeat all of my men. Elena, watch me. The smoke is beginning to clear, reducing Elena's advantage. But she's already repositioned to the diner's office, where she has clear sight lines to 3 different approaches. The third mercenary makes the mistake of silhouetting himself against the emergency lighting. Elena's shot takes him in the shoulder wounded. Not killed. She's not a murderer. She's a federal agent, but the gunshot changes everything. Now it's open warfare. Elena dives behind the office desk as automatic gunfire erupts throughout the diner. Bullets shred the air where she'd been standing seconds before. Elena, into her own radio. Phoenix Base, I am taking heavy fire. Where's my backup? Radio voice. 4 minutes out, Nightingale. Hold your position. 4 minutes. 240 seconds. Each one potentially the last for the 7 people counting on her dot. Elena checks her ammunition. 43 rounds left in. The rifle she'd taken, plus her service weapon. Against 5 professional killers with unlimited ammunition and military-grade equipment. The math is still ugly, but it's getting better. Rodriguez, over radio. Enough games. Storm the kitchen. Kill everyone. Elena's blood turns to ice. He's given up on taking her alive. This is now about eliminating witnesses and cutting losses. Through the office window, she sees mercenaries moving toward the kitchen where the civilians are hidden. Time for subtlety is over. Elena kicks open the office door and opens fire, laying down a withering barrage that forces the mercenaries to take cover. She's not trying to kill them, she's channeling them away from the civilians. Elena, shouting, I'm here, Carlos. You want me? Come and get me. She sprints across the dining room, drawing fire away from the kitchen. Bullets chase her steps, shattering coffee cups and punching holes in vinyl booth seats. Elena slides behind the counter as gunfire tears chunks out of the industrial refrigerator. She's pinned down, but the civilians are safe for now. Rodriguez, entering through front door. Agent Santos, I grow tired of these games. Carlos Rodriguez is exactly what Elena expected mid-50s. Expensive suit over body armor. The kind of man who orders death from a distance, but rarely sees the results up close. Rodriguez, you have caused me significant expense. Do you know how much I pay these men? Elena, from cover. Not enough, apparently. Half of them are already down. Rodriguez, but you are trapped, and soon you will be dead. Elena glances at her watch. 2 minutes until backup arrives. She just needs to keep everyone alive for 120 more seconds. Through the kitchen door, she can hear Maria whispering prayers in Spanish. The elderly man is crying quietly. The young couple holds each other in terrified silence. Elena Santos has never failed a mission where civilian lives were at stake. She's not starting now. Elena, Carlos, let me tell you a story. She fires two precise shots, forcing his mercenaries to keep their heads down. Elena, 3 years ago, I was in Syria, protecting American diplomats from ISIS fighters. 50 terrorists against 4 Marines. Another burst of covering fire. Elena, by the end of the day, there were 4 Marines and 0 terrorists. Want to know the secret? Rodriguez, what secret? Elena's voice carries across the battle-torn diner with absolute confidence. Elena, the secret is that some people are born to be victims, and some people are born to be protectors. Guess which one I am? Elena hears the distinct sound of helicopter. Rotors in the distance. Her backup is arriving, but Rodriguez's men hear it too. Desperation makes dangerous people even more dangerous. Rodriguez, into his radio. Finish this, now. Everyone dies. The remaining mercenaries abandon tactical positioning and charge the counter where Elena is pinned down. It's a suicide run, but in the chaos, they might succeed. Elena waits until they're committed to the charge and rolls out from behind cover with a rifle on full auto. The first mercenary goes down hard, but the second one's return fire forces her to dive behind a booth. Splinters of wood and foam filling explode around her as bullets tear through the vinyl seating. She's trapped in a killing crossfire with nowhere to run. But Elena Santos didn't survive 3 tours in Afghanistan by running. She grabs a metal serving tray reinforced steel from the kitchen. Using it as a shield, she charges directly at the nearest mercenary. The unexpected assault catches him off guard long enough for Elena to close the distance. A quick disarm technique, learned in hand-to-hand combat training, sends his weapon skittering across the floor. A follow-up strike to his temple drops him. Unconscious. 4 down, 3 to go. Rodriguez, screaming, "Kill her, kill them all." Elena spins toward his voice, just as the helicopter searchlight blazes through the diner windows, illuminating the carnage. The D backup team is rappelling from the aircraft, but they're still 30 seconds from entry. 30 seconds Elena doesn't have. Rodriguez raises his own weapon, a gold-plated pistol that screams vanity over practicality, and aims directly at Elena's chest. Time slows to a crawl. Elena sees the gun, calculates the angle, realizes she can't reach cover in time. In that frozen moment, she thinks about the 7 civilians in the kitchen, about Maria's children who would grow up without their mother, about the young couple who might never get married. She thinks about the 43 Marines who died in Afghanistan while she lived. Not today. Elena dives sideways as Rodriguez fires, the bullet passing so close to her head that she feels the heat. She hits the ground rolling and comes up with the pistol she'd taken from Marcus earlier. Not 2 shots. Center mass. Professional accuracy born from years of training and refined by combat experience. Rodriguez staggers backward, looking down at the spreading red stain on his expensive suit with genuine surprise. Rodriguez, this is ... impossible ... Elena, Carlos Rodriguez, you're under arrest for conspiracy, drug trafficking, and attempted murder of a federal agent. Rodriguez collapses into booth 7, the same booth where just an hour ago Elena had served coffee to a trucker who was worried about making his delivery on time. The irony isn't lost on her. The remaining 2 mercenaries, seeing their boss down and hearing the D team breaching the front door, make the smart choice. They drop their weapons and raise their hands. Mercenary. #1. We surrender. Mercenary number 2. Don't shoot. We're done. Elena keeps her weapon trained on them as D tactical officers flood into the diner, their black uniforms and assault rifles transforming the familiar space into something from a war movie. Agent Morrison. Team leader. Santos. Status report. Elena. 7 civilians secure in the kitchen, all uninjured. 5 suspects in custody, 1 requiring medical attention. She holsters her weapon and finally allows herself to breathe. Agent Morrison. Outstanding. Work, Elena. This operation just crushed the entire West Coast distribution network. Elena nods, but her attention is already shifting to the kitchen door. Maria emerges first, looking around the destroyed diner with wide eyes. Maria. Elena, is it over? Elena. It's over. Maria walks slowly through the debris-shattered glass. Bullet holes, overturned furniture, until she reaches Elena. For a moment, they just look at each other. Maria. 8 months. 8 months you served me coffee every morning, complained about difficult customers, asked about my kids' soccer games. Elena. Maria. 8 months of lies. Elena feels the weight of those words. In her world, maintaining cover identity often meant deceiving good people, but it never got easier. Elena, not everything was a lie. I do care about your kids' soccer games. And you do make the best tres leches cake I've ever tasted. Maria's stern expression cracks slightly. Maria, you remember that? Elena, I remember everything, Maria. Every conversation, every kindness you showed me. That wasn't part of the cover. That was real. Maria, so what happens now? Elena looks around the ruined diner, her home for 8 months, her cover, her life. Elena. Now Rodriguez's organization crumbles. Hundreds of arrests across 6 states. Millions of dollars in drugs off the streets. Thousands of lives saved. Maria. And you? Elena considers the question. After every deep cover operation, agents face the same choice. Return to the field or find a way to reconnect with the civilian world they've been protecting. Elena. I don't know. 3 hours later, as dawn breaks over the Nevada desert, Elena sits in a D-Mobile command center parked behind Danny's diner. Through the window, she watches crime scene technicians photographing evidence and paramedics treating the wounded. Mercenaries. Rodriguez didn't survive his wounds. Elena had aimed to incapacitate, but combat shooting is never precise. Sometimes people die when you're trying to save lives. Deputy Director Sarah Collins, 52, enters the command vehicle. Elena's immediate supervisor and one of the few people who knew her true identity throughout the operation. Collins. Hell of a thing. Elena. We're getting commendations from Washington, congratulations from Mexico City, and interview requests from every major news network. Elena. Just doing the job. Collins. Bullshit. You saved 7 civilian lives against impossible odds. That's not just doing the job. That's heroism. Elena doesn't respond. She's seen too much combat to be impressed by words like heroism. Heroes are what politicians call soldiers after they're safely dead. Collins, I've got your next assignment. Deep cover in Miami, investigating a money laundering operation connected to the Rodriguez network. Could take 2 years, maybe more. Elena, 2 years of lying to new people, pretending to be someone I'm not. Collins, that's the job, Elena. That's what you're good at. Elena, maybe I'm tired of being good at it. Collins sits across from Elena, studying her face. Collins, talk to me. What's really going on? Elena gestures toward the diner, where Maria is being interviewed by FBI agents. Elena, 8 months ago, I thought this would be simple. Establish cover, gather intelligence, build a case, execute the takedown. Clean, professional, by the book. Collins, it was by the book. Textbook operation. Elena, but I wasn't expecting ... Collins, what? Elena, I wasn't expecting to care about them. Maria, her stories about her kids. The old man who comes in every Tuesday for apple pie because it reminds him of his late wife. The truckers who treated me like family. Collins, Elena, you can't let personal attachment compromise. Elena, it didn't compromise anything. It made me better. When Rodriguez's men came for them, I fought harder because they weren't just civilians anymore. They were people I cared about. Collins leans back, processing this. Collins, so what are you saying? Elena, I'm saying maybe the D has been thinking about this wrong. Maybe agents who care about the communities they're protecting are more effective than agents who maintain professional distance. Collins, or maybe agents who care too much make mistakes that get people killed. Elena stands, walks to the window. Outside, Maria is hugging the young couple who'd been sharing pie when the shooting started. They're all alive because Elena Santos cared enough to risk everything. Elena, Sarah, in 8 months of deep cover, I learned more about why we do this job than in 6 years of federal service. We don't fight drug dealers because they're breaking laws. We fight them because they destroy families, ruin communities, kill innocent people. Collins, and Elena, and you can't protect something you don't understand. You can't save people you don't care about. Collins joins Elena at the window. Collins, you know, there's another position opening up. Less glamorous than deep cover, but maybe more. Your speed. Elena, what position? Collins, community liaison. Working directly with local law enforcement, building relationships with civilian communities, creating the kind of trust networks that make operations like this possible. Elena considers this. No more false identities. No more lies to good people. No more pretending to be someone else. Elena, I'd be based here, in Nevada? Collins, wherever you think you can do the most good. Elena looks out at Danny's diner. At Maria talking with the FBI agents. At the small community that had unknowingly sheltered a federal operation for 8 months. Elena, I think I'd like to stay in Millbrook for a while. Help them rebuild. Make sure they're safe. Collins, the town's barely a dot on the map, Elena. Population 800. You could have assignments in New York, Los Angeles, Miami. Elena, big cities have lots of agents. Small towns like this have no one. Collins smiles. Collins, Agent Santos, I think you found your calling. Elena watches as Maria approaches the command vehicle, looking nervous but determined. Collins, I'll leave you two to talk. Collins exits as Maria climbs into the vehicle. Maria, they said you're leaving. Going back to Washington or wherever agents go. Elena, actually, I'm thinking about staying. If the community would have me. Maria, as a waitress? Elena, as whatever you need me to be. FBI liaison, D community coordinator, or just Elena Santos, the woman who serves coffee and cares about her neighbors. Maria sits down across from Elena. Maria, you know, the diner's going to need a new manager. Danny's talking about retiring after all this excitement. Elena, I don't know anything about running a restaurant. Maria, but you know about protecting people. And in a place like Millbrook, sometimes that's more important. Elena extends her hand. Elena Santos. Nice to meet you, Maria. The real me, I mean. Maria shakes her hand. Maria Gonzalez? And Elena? Next time someone tries to hurt my town, you don't have to face them alone. Elena, what do you mean? Maria grins. Maria, did you really think you were the only one in Millbrook with secrets?